what we're going to do now is transition a little bit into some basketball talk. The Golden State Warriors have been very up and down. They've been they kind of were on a big losing skid, weren't looking good. Then they won 3 straight, and then they lost, and then they won, and so they're kind of like a tough team to grade and grasp right now. But I'll say this: okay, first off, the 49ers, the Warriors starting lineup it should be this: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Brandon Pajemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Trace Jackson Davis. Now, if you want to throw Chris Paul in there for Brandon Pajemski, I don't know how I feel about that. I like Chris Paul coming off the bench, and that's what Steve Kerr's kind of rolling with right now. And I like Pajemski in there, and I like Chris Paul leading the second unit. But this is my main thing. My main like point for the Warriors starting lineup is that it from here on out, from this moment until the end of time, when this man retires, Jonathan Kuminga needs to be in there. Jonathan Kuminga is a starter worthy player. If he was on another team right now, he would potentially be an all-star by now. And the Warriors cannot trade him. And I'm nervous that they might, but they shouldn't. And if they're going to trade a small forward, you trade Wiggins. Kuminga is a small forward of the future. Okay, you Kerr, you sat him, you hated him for years for some reason. But now it's time and you're forced to play him, and he's playing very well. So there's no reason to look back. Look forward. Kuminga's the future. So that's my biggest thing, is Jonathan Kuminga needs to remain in the starting lineup no matter how good Andrew Wiggins is playing, no matter what Draymond Green does when he comes back. I wouldn't be mad at Draymond coming off the bench. I wouldn't be mad at a lineup of starting lineup, Steph, Pods, Klay, Kuminga, Trace Jackson Davis, and then off the bench you have Chris Paul, Moses Moody / Gary Payton, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Kevin Looney. I think it's a great team. I think it's a really decently deep team. Will they win the finals? I don't know. I don't know yet. But all that I know is that Jonathan Kuminga needs to be in the starting lineup. And Trace Jackson Davis, let's talk about him for a minute. He's playing really well. He's playing great basketball. Rookie big. He could have been what we wanted in James Wiseman, right? That's something that I think about like every day, is James Wiseman and how bad that failed. How great it could have been and how badly it failed. That is something I think about a lot, and it's a bummer. But overall, the Warriors need to they might need to make another move. And it comes down to who you're going to trade, right? And because you got teams making moves, right? You got teams making moves, and there's guys available. Like the Bulls have made Zach LaVine available. Sounds like Pascal Siakam's available in Toronto. Sounds like even like John Collins is available. There are guys available. Who do you go after and who do you flip? Ideal for me would probably be to flip or to trade for Pascal Siakam or Lauri Markkanen. One of those two are the guys that I want. Okay? And see, I don't know what the Raptors or the Jazz would accept for those two guys, but all I know is that if they would take something like Wiggins, Moody, couple picks, maybe Wiggins, Chris Paul, couple picks. I don't want to flip Kuminga. Kuminga's an untouchable for me, really. Unless you're trading for like Giannis or Jokic or Embiid, then he's an untouchable. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Because it's like, yeah, like, okay, like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like if you were to... Oh, but obviously that's like not going to happen. And like obviously those things aren't going to happen. So it's like, why am I even thinking about that? Jonathan Kuminga's an untouchable for me. He's not going anywhere. And I'm a little nervous that he might, because he might not be an untouchable for Mike Dunleavy. But listen, I think I do believe that you might be able to pull something off for Lauri Markkanen and Pascal Siakam while giving up um Chris Paul, Andrew Wiggins, Moses Moody picks. Boom. Right? Stuff like that. Whatever, however you can pull that off, I think you might be able to. And that's what I think the Warriors need to do. And then you can run a lineup of Steph, Clay, Kuminga, Markkanen slash Siakam, whichever one we pull, and then TJD, and then the bench, however whoever we end up with will be on the bench. And I think that would put us over. I think that really would, and then that would give us some extra scoring. Those guys are both not bad defenders. So what the Warriors need is scoring right now. They do need scoring, and that would definitely supply that for them. So that's a big thing that I think the Dubs need to do. I think that they need to make a splash. They don't have to go get Giannis. They don't have to go get some crazy big name, some crazy superstar, but you got to go get somebody who's going to effectively change the course of this team. And I think that's what you're going to get if you go get a guy like Lauri Markkanen or you go get a guy like Pascal Siakam. I think both of those guys can move the needle for the Golden State Warriors. And that's what I think the Warriors should do if they're going to make a deal. That's what you have to do. Because like I said earlier, I like the team. And I think that, like I said, if you run that lineup with that second unit, I think that's a solid team. But I just don't know if it's good enough, if you have enough power to overcome the Denver Nuggets, the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Those Miami Heat. So I think the Warriors have to make some sort of move. And I think going for a guy like Pascal Siakam and Lauri Markkanen is the right way to go. So I think that's what the Warriors should do. That's kind of where I'm leaning for the Golden State Warriors. I don't think they played tonight. They played last night, ended up beating. Why am I blanking? Why am I blanking on who they beat last? Orlando. They beat Orlando last night. So we'll see. They're kind of up and down, like I said.